Welcome to Out of Memory. I'm AJ Hamilton.
I'm Christopher Hampson.
Out of Memory is a podcast where we talk about our memories of anything from our past that we enjoyed or changed us in any way, shape, or form, and we go back to them today to see if they're worth keeping in our memories.
In the first segment, we'll take you down the rabbit hole of our fond recollections of this week's subject, and then we'll take a break.
During that time, we'll somehow re-experience it in some way or another, take a pee break, get another drink, and we will come back with fresh eyes and fresh butts in this case. This episode is brought to you by the taco truck down the street.
It's an interesting sponsor.
Indeed. Well, they caused it.
Yeah, it's true. How you been, man?
I've been fine. I've been good. It's finally cooling down. In November, if you can believe that.
I can.
Yeah, but no, I'm good. Just hanging out, visiting taco trucks quite a bit. There's a great one right around the corner from me. Actually, shout out to El Toro Tacos. They actually set up in the parking lot of a gas station, which is quite fitting for today, I think.
Taco truck in a gas station?
Yeah.
That's interesting that you bring that up, because I did have a question for you.
Yes.
Have you or anyone that you know ever farted?
What? Huh? No. Oh dear. Excuse me. So, on this week in Out of Memory, I don't know if you've guessed it yet, but we're talking about...
Maybe from the title you clicked on.
Perhaps. I don't know, but if you went in blind and noseless, we are talking about the eclectic subject of farts. Oh God!
What an immature topic to pick for this podcast.
Yeah, right, Chris. Who?
See, you're all set up over there with an actual machine. I just have a balloon. Sparing our audience from real farts on this show. We tried to go with something a little sanitary, but also give you a taste of variety.
That's indeed true. Chris, why did we decide that this was the subject for this week?
Well, because we're boys, and lowbrow things make us laugh.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it was.
No, I agree.
I think we're just trying to think outside the box.
Outside the butt,
outside the butts.
Yep.
Of mediums. I mean, we've covered television, video games, pogs.
Right.
So this was kind of a little I don't know, esoteric, I guess. But I think that we went into this with the intention of kind of discussing it from maybe more of a scientific or even psychological view of like why, and maybe this is bespoke to just boys mostly,
yeah,
but
sure.
Why in the past, when we were younger in our memories, we thought that farts were funny, and then maybe through our research of farts, come back with a more scientific kind of approach as
understanding.
To why,
Yes. Yeah.
Why they were funny. What types of farts there are. Is there a fart scale?
A fart scale.
Well, or
a fart spectrum, for perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like they have a scale for everything, like even how spicy peppers are. What is the name of that?
That's an important one. God,
it's someone's
what
name.
Is it? You know what it is? It's the Scoville scale. Scoville. Scoville. Yes. We figured it out. Yeah. No, I think I had to use that the other day to tell what kind of pepper was in my Chinese food. It was very, very spicy.
Interesting.
It burnt my mouth hard.
We just had dinner with some friends from out of town last night, and as a gift to her husband, who likes very spicy things, she got him a Reaper pepper chip, which comes in a cardboard coffin, and it contains only one chip. It's so spicy.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
I don't know if he tried it or not, but she was able to send a custom like gift message with it, and it just said, "Please don't die."
Jesus, that's horrifying. Yeah, I've not really been a spicy person. The spiciest I'll go is buffalo sauce. On my girlfriend was looking at a YouTube channel where they make almost every type of food mixed in with red hot fiery Cheetos.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a lot of overkill, I'll say.
It's also, I think, like the grossest spicy thing that you can extract. Like,
but it's the closest thing to smelling a fart.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. You smelt it and dealt it to your girlfriend to eat, I guess.
She's the fan of the spicy hot Cheetos, not me.
Sure. So
she's the one who dealt it.
I almost said, "Oh, you're trying to blame it on the dog." That's not nice at all. Your girlfriend is quite pretty. She is nowhere near a dog. Maybe like a show dog. She's
got very flowing hair. I groom it all the time. She's wonderful. She always answers when I call.
Well, that's our episode on how to get your girlfriend to break up with you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure she'll never listen to this episode. She'll skip right over.
So jumping into our memories here. I mean,
what do you remember? I think probably my earliest memory was of being awkward in class. You know, like your stomach rumbling after lunch or something like that, and you're like, "Oh no, is it coming? Is this the day that I embarrass myself in front of the cute girl next to me?"
Sure. I think as written into our genes as it is, again, at least for the male perspective, that farts are funny. School definitely seemed to be the enemy of our humor and our love of farts, because that's definitely a place to get embarrassed.
Offensive to cute girls, offensive to teachers, most likely. They're probably going to kick you out, send you to the nurse. He's leaking, you know.
Well, I think that's where some of the humor comes from, is when somebody else farts, because it's a point of embarrassment.
Right. Exactly. Sorry, I had to wait for
AJ farted.
Oh no! My life is over. Oh my gosh! Did you ever blame it on anybody?
Oh, totally.
Totally. Like the kid next to you, or you and the other kid, like a large kid in class, perhaps, you'd be like, "No, he did it," and then everybody would be like, "Well, of course he did it."
I feel like I've gotten very good at blaming it on other people or other things.
It's a survival technique.
Sure. I mean, having taken public transit, I'm sometimes trapped on a very tightly packed train for up to an hour. And so, sometimes you can't hold it in, and I think it's probably unhealthy or deadly for you to do so.
Well, that'll be in the scientific end of things if you see it.
We always told each other that if you held it in too long, then it would come out your mouth or something like that.
Better out than in, I believe.
Yes, I think, better out than in, or else we bury you. And so I have immediately, if I can't hold it, I will start to try to make it as quiet as possible and let it slide, and immediately cover my nose and start looking at, probably a stereotypically most likely person to have let one go. Usually someone who is kind of disheveled or looks like he could have given a crap less.
Like the smelly kid in class. Did you ever try to cough to cover it?
I've even tried to cough to cover it for friends in class. We would definitely kind of pull the chair out from one another, though, and say we're going to cough and then not.
Nice.
And just kind of let it fly.
Well, I always also tried to look for that chair that squeaked, and just lean back in class and make the chair squeak before you fart, because then you can be like, "No, didn't you hear me? I was making it fart the entire time. I mean, I was making it squeak. I didn't fart. Oh my God, I've been undone.
I feel like the smelt it, dealt it rule, I feel like that was invented by someone who didn't want farts blamed on them anymore. Because I think if you get there first, you can really start to shift the blame of like being offended by it first.
It's I mean, there's also
it's damage control.
You
get out in front of it.
You were controlling the narrative at that point.
Yes,
but also humans are auditory creatures, so usually, if I mean, this doesn't have anything to do with Silent but Deadly. Obviously, that's something challenging to point your finger at. It's almost like a Murder on the Orient Express type of thing. Who done it? But really, I mean, we all know where it came from. Came from me,
Colonel Mustard.
So embarrassed
in the library with the taco.
Colonel Mustard would have done it. That's a
farty
fellow.
That's my survival tactic. I'm looking for the most likely clue character to toss that on. And Colonel Mustard, I mean, come on. He wants you to pull his finger.
Professor Plum probably eats dates too, and then
so much fruit. It was a bad call.
Keeps you regular though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's good, right?
Regularly blamed.
So I think farts are hugely popular in like in kids shows and
socially there is a stigma about like farts being distasteful and almost unacceptable, where we consider it to be lowbrow type humor, but also like no one is trying to fart and have somebody else like hear it except for like close friends or family that you're trying to like, oh, farted.
Well, it reminds me of that great preview at the beginning of Tropic Thunder. Do you remember the Jack Black movie series of the farters?
Yes.
Oh,
it was pretty much a parody of the Nutty Professor.
Of the Nutty Professor, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which might be one of the most famous fart scene that I've ever seen.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, God.
Do you have any memorable farts that you heard or that you did that caused a ruckus?
I never got pinned so bad that like the entire class was laughing at me. Mostly I remember, I mean, the interactions that we had when we were kids. We grew up together. Remember that?
Some of it.
When we were... Well, I'll make you remember it all.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's coming. We would be walking home. We walked home from elementary school on, pretty much. And, you would, if you felt one coming up, you would run in front of your friends and everybody be like, why is he walking up there so much? And then they would just walk into it. And I don't know if would you consider that crop dusting? Because I feel like crop dusting is when you walk by people. Because I've had that happen.
It's more of, I don't know, it's more of a drive-by. There's a lot more motion going on there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think it's sort of like setting a landmine almost, like a floating landmine where you fart, you keep walking, and then the people walk straight into it. It's, it's cruel.
It's more of like a dogfight, like kind of plane-to-plane combat. I would think. Did the old like bi-wings... like in World War One, did they have like smoke that they would like eject out to kind of like shake people off their tails?
They might have, but they also use those same planes to crop dust, literally crop dust fields.
Yeah, it's the fartiest plane out there.
The fartiest plane.
I'm pretty sure it's gas powered.
Well, I'm sure that's true. Actually, that might be right. What about you? Did you have any like earth shattering or butt shattering farts?
No, there are so many.
Of course. I can't name just one.
Yeah,
there you go. It had been a while.
Yes. Yeah. I say my probably proudest fart moment was when you actually came to see my daughter in the hospital for the very first time.
Oh, yeah.
And I was changing her in front of you and your dad, and she like immediately farts. And you looked at me and you said, "This is definitely your daughter."
That's your daughter.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. She's gonna grow up to be an amazing girl.
Yes.
She already is. That is a classic fart. I think I grew up a little sheltered because, well, you had brothers.
Yes.
And I was an only child, so
big factor.
My dad isn't like a fart, lowbrow humor type of guy. You've met him.
Yes, he's quite proper.
I mean, not too. He's not a prude whatsoever, but that's not his go-to thing. But your brothers probably encouraged it. I mean, or you encouraged it in them, or used it.
Yeah, it's almost like I mean, at least from my personal experience, I mean, having a brother kind of maybe amplifies the gross tendencies that a boy might have, or kind of makes it okay. I mean, like to get back at one another, we would definitely fart at each other, fart on each other.
Who had the top bunk? Because I remember you two for a little bit of time
we switched
had bunks. Okay,
well, we switched, but I mean. We also had side by side. No, it didn't matter because we had a small room, so we just filled that with farts. And often
it was like murder suicide. Yeah,
we'd be told to like keep quiet and go to sleep, like if we were farting too much, which was a real thing. I mean, we would do shitty things to each other. We would torture each other. We would throw our farts at each other, like fart in your hand, and
sure.
We were disgusting.
Yeah, that's awful.
Nothing that I've done for. Okay, well, actually, I did do that to him like last weekend because we went away on a trip. It is funny.
The classics, man, the classics. Yeah. I think I remember when we were very young. We had like sleepovers where we really wouldn't sleep. We would just like sit up and watch and play video games the entire night and then be just dead. Luckily, it was like a Saturday the next morning, so we could go home and then sleep. Yeah. But yeah, we would definitely fart in those groups because mainly I just found a picture of us at one of those, and it was us sitting around a table with just a stack of Taco Bell in the middle. It was like whoever's house that was that we were at, the parents were just like, I don't care. Methane doesn't bother me.
It certainly doesn't contribute to greenhouse gases and global warming.
No, of course not. But yeah, no, that is the biggest source in my life of flatulence. I would say is
Taco Bell or Mexican food?
Is Taco Bell Taco Bell primarily because it's just a lower quality of Mexican food. Like
totally.
If you go to a good Mexican food restaurant, you come home and if the portions are proper, then it'll be like, oh yeah, I'm full, but I'm not gonna explode.
Yeah. Well, you will once that turns to gas.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, my brother and I had it down to a science. Like we even had like a secret formula that we knew was guaranteed to give like the smelliest farts. Because I am not a big guy. I mean, I have a pretty aggressive. Frame. Yeah, I'm lean. Some people have called me lean. I have a very aggressive digestive system.
That's it working lean. Right now.
Yeah. Lean and clean, kind of. But yeah, we would. It was 2 cans of Stag chili, and then and Taco Bell sauce, and then like just a couple of drops of Tabasco, and then like it was guaranteed the worst smelling thing that we could possibly produce, and we would do it on purpose to each other.
And you guys never? Did you guys know about about broccoli farts? I mean, those are. That's significant.
I feel like when you're younger though, like
you don't eat broccoli. You don't want broccoli.
Well, we would eat it to try to fart, but
yeah,
I think your digestive system's a little bit different than when you're an adult and like an old person farting uncontrollably. That's so which I can't wait for.
You're not doing the butt kegels to keep that tight.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I know that kegels are a thing.
What do you even call that?
Bagels.
Finagles?
I just want to tell everybody that this is insane that we are doing this episode. I'm so happy we are.
I've been giggling all week creating this outline. And yes, there is actually structure to this. I think most of that's going to come in the research section, but
absolutely. Good. I mean, yeah, chomping at the bit to not chomping at the biscuit, but
chomping at the butt.
Jumping at the butt. What are your favorite synonyms or sound-alikes or word similars?
There was a lot of these I didn't know, but I think we'll start with just some of the more common ones, like poot. Was one that my great grandma would say. Break wind, guess.
Yeah.
Boof.
Mm-hmm. Boof.
Boof. I think boof might have come from like bufa, and that might be
boofa.
Might be Spanish. I don't know. I've also there were definitely kids in school that would refer to it as woof. Like you go and you know someone had been woofing.
Oh, that reminds me of when you said in school. Did you ever do safety?
What does that mean?
Did you ever play safety? Like if somebody farted and said safety, or like safety and then farted. I can't remember the rules because I wasn't really like I wasn't the class clown. I wasn't the guy doing that. But I think if you said safety while you were farting, somebody couldn't it was like one of those punching you in the arm games.
Yeah.
And then if you didn't, people could come after you unless you touched the doorknob. There was safety and doorknob somehow worked into there. I have no clue whatsoever. But yeah, that was definitely one of those weird games.
I never played that game. I did definitely play. I don't know who could fart the loudest with my brother, but yeah, because obviously that's what brothers do.
Good, yeah. That was nothing. That was a quiet one.
Well, we would fart, and this is like when we'd be getting in trouble when we're supposed to be sleeping. There'd just be total darkness and just our farts as loud as we can make it. We're like, oh, that we compare it to Star Wars sounds, like, oh, that was like a Wookiee yell, or oh, that was like an X-wing exploding.
Oh, that was a bad one.
No, that was a womp rat.
I think you would have won with that one.
That was like a Death Star.
Jesus Christ. What is wrong with it? I used to hear quacker. I don't know why, but like a duck, like I don't know.
I think there are a lot of animals being incorporated into this.
Very much so.
Like blaming it on the dog and woof. There's barking spider.
Right.
Or somebody might say like a goose flew out of my ass. You heard that one?
Well, laying an egg.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, laying an egg.
I feel like that's that because it's a rotten egg. You know. There's trouser coughs. Well, speaking of animals, turd tremors, named after the 4 movies Tremor.
That's a stretch. Wow.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, I mean, they looked like poop.
Sure.
They were great.
Sure.
But Kevin Bacon is my hero.
It's my greatest fear is being eaten by poop.
Oh, it's so scary.
I did like the one that we found online, Crap Call.
What's that? Crap Call. A call is calling up.
It reminds me of like duck hunting. It's just
no, I like the idea that the crap is calling you, and it's like, hey, how's it going? Hey, what are you doing in about 20 minutes? Because I think you're gonna have to make an appointment in the porcelain palace. You know what I mean? All right, I'll talk to you later.
I still think it's at least for me, it's like duck hunting, where you're using the crap call to find your prey, and then you drop it off at the pool. My brother and I did have like a really stupid. I don't even know what the hell you call it. It might even be a colloquialism.
Sure.
Which I have trouble saying that word.
Colloquialism.
Yeah. Yes. Colloquialism.
Yep. It's got a lot of twists and turns in it.
It's just it's an unkind word. Harsh. We would always say that a fart would mean no. So I don't know, like if somebody asks you something, you just fart, and you're like, oh, okay, he means no. Yeah, it was really stupid. Yeah, we were communicating.
Communication
with them. See, it had use.
That actually reminds me of there was an episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets or it was a Treehouse of Horror where Homer gets bitten by a spider and he gets paralyzed, and the only way he can communicate is by farting. And then Lisa actually goes through the alphabet. There's only one. And she writes no. There's only one, the American one, and it's the best one.
It's the best one.
There's a bunch of different.
It's the biggest. It's huge.
It's the best. We're the greatest. It's the perfect, amazing one. No one will ever beat it. Make America go alphabet again.
I also with that family that we were visiting with yesterday.
Yes.
One of them is deaf, so there's a lot of signing going on. I've been picking up some sign. I learned the sign for Donald Trump, which is basically you take like your hand and fingers spread, and you put your palm like on your forehead and hand off to the side, and you kind of like wave it a little bit. And
is it describing his hair?
Yeah, it's kind of like his hair flapping in the wind.
Oh my God, that's his most significant feature. Yeah. That's really sad, well, I guess considering that it's probably fake.
The sign is also close to the sign for doofus, so it's just accepted.
I'm sure. Here's the thing. I am sure that I have farted in at least 7 countries.
Oh,
so that's kind of fun.
That's interesting.
That's kind of fun.
What is the most unique country that you've farted in, I guess?
I would definitely say... the one that makes sense to me is Spain. I think we had just had paella, so yeah, that was probably the best of all.
Got it. Totally makes sense.
How about you?
There's been so many, like between my brother and I, it's hard to tell. There are a couple that I was party to. I had a friend that we went on a boat with when he turned 21, and we're going fairly fast. We'll say 30 knots, just because nobody's gonna know how fast it is. I don't know how fucking fast that was.
Whatever.
Boat speed. We were going pretty well, and there was swells, and we're just kind of chilling. And I was in, I guess, the equivalent of the passenger seat. And the driver, my buddy Matt, who you know.
Well, if you weren't driving, you are a passenger.
Fine.
Just saying.
I said, okay. Well, the passenger seat.
Fair enough. There's
whatever seat is adjacent to the driver, the captain. Are you the captain of a small boat?
You can.
I feel like
be.
you have to be certified for
depending on your ego, I think.
All right. Well, I don't think that he had the rank. He was probably ensign. But he farted while going like full speed on this boat, and I smelled it, and it was disgusting, and it stuck with us for so long, even though we're moving. And he got emotions to me because we had a guy all the way at the back of the boat. This boat's only 10 feet long. Who was just back there chilling, enjoying the view, and we're both like kind of like waiting for it to get back to him. And it took like a good 15 seconds, but his expression drops from enjoyment to just like pure horror when it finally reaches him.
Now with that timing, I am very curious, and I think I want to. I don't know how you would test this, or if anybody has researched this, but is methane gas heavier than just air? I mean, it must be, right? But it has a different makeup because it does act differently than other smells, I would think.
I think that it might, and God, I'm telling you my ass here. We'll look this up in the research phase. But sure. It seems like to me that it has a similar density to air, and maybe it just depends on like what it's consisting of. But like in a shower, it seems like it sticks around a lot longer with like hot water going. But I'd say for the most part, it doesn't seem like it just goes straight up. It just kind of seems like it spreads out.
It feels like it tries to take over, and that's what I always worry about. I mean, look at the methane coming out of cows right now.
It's deadly.
It's clearly evil. No, not deadly. It's evil. It's trying to do something bad to us.
Well, there is a hypothesis that if it wasn't a meteor that killed the dinosaurs, and this is 100% true, that there's a theory about this.
Yeah.
There's some scientists that believe that there was some kind of like methane pocket, possibly like in the ocean, like a mega methane pocket, that
Oh my God.
some kind of earthquake or something like had it shifted. It came to the surface and like killed, like there was just mass extinction because of it.
Or all the whales got together, farted, and killed the dinosaurs. They were like, fuck
you guys, we don't walk on land anymore.
Yeah.
That's right. Whales have feet. Look it up.
They used to. Now they're hanging out, being cool.
Are they?
Just
Is being cool being extinct? Oh, endangered?
No,
soon.
I don't know. Not all whales are. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna change that law of hunting whales from helicopters so that we can finally get those whales.
Is that really a thing? Hunting whales from helicopters?
No. Well, they do it with wolves and different things like that.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant they used the wolves
Alaska
to get the whales.
They just have wolf launchers.
It seemed like a really fucked up
launchers?
episode of one of those shows where they pit like two ridiculous things together, like dinosaurs versus Genghis Khan's army.
No, that's just
what is that show called?
Sarah Palin hunts whales.
Oh.
No, what is that? Something versus something? It's great.
It's like Deadly Showdown or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
if you're
a really
watching
cool
episodes
thing.
of things like that, don't. It's dumb.
It's
listen
not
to our
real,
podcast on
folks.
farts instead.
Yeah, we'll entertain you for hours and hours. But on that note, should we take a break and do all our due diligence on the duty?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I did that.
That's nice. I think that this is a good time to take a break, Wind.
Or a windbreak. Oh, I like it. Right.
Well, if you've listened this far, stick around, and we'll come back with some
factuals.
Fart facts.
Yeah.
Out of memory.
Hey, we're back.
Hi, everybody. Wow. Whew, took a nice break outside to, not stink up the air it out the room, out the studio.
All of our immature little boy giggles about flatulence. So we're coming back to this half and looking to revisit this with a more mature and scientific approach.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Put our lab coats on to cover the farts.
Wearing my goggles and
indeed
thick rubber gloves.
Well, let's look at the root of the word, the proper word. It's flatulence. That is the scientific term, I suppose you would talk about farts with, or flatus. The root of these words is from Latin, flatus, a blowing, a breaking wind. So it actually came not from, I suppose, the anus, but just a wind. And they were like, you know what? That reminds me of the little poot coming out. There's clearly some sort of air coming out. So,
I'm sure that association was probably made by some sick boy or immature man.
And their science friend was like, I hate to admit it, but little Jerry's got a point. Yeah, yes, absolutely.
What is the barometric pressure down there? I do love looking up flatulence, mainly on Wikipedia, because they have that great main image of some German peasants greeting the fire and brimstone talk from Pope Paul III. It's just two dudes with their pants down and some guy on a stage holding what looks like to be a Bible with fire coming out. It's just like fire versus the fart clouds coming out of these guys.
That's dangerous, though. I don't think they want to aim at fire and brimstone.
Religion has... what? Oh, sorry.
I don't...
Oh, the farts and fire. Yes, that's dangerous.
But yeah, also, I mean, mixing farts with religion are not great either. That's a danger in itself.
I also just like the term that they throw in here also that it's the noise that's commonly associated with vibrations from the anal sphincter. Boom, science.
Boom.
That's how it happens.
Fart burping.
Also, just to get more sciencey, I mean, like how do farts happen?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's from the foods that we eat, and also from some of the air that we swallow.
That's correct. And do we want to talk about the myth of are you tasting poop if you breathe in?
Yes, because I have often heard and participated in debates about if you're smelling a fart, if you're really like tasting it.
Yeah. Well, there's an interesting thought to that. I looked up an interesting article, and they did. It's so funny. Most of the smell comes from methyl something or other. Yeah, I did real good studying.
Nice. Methyl something or other. Which
methyl
the smelly part
sulfides.
only makes up like 1% of what's coming out.
Yeah,
there,
yeah, that's true. Nitrogen, oxygen, methane, hydrogen, and carbon dioxide come out of there. The thing that is responsible for the odor is called methyl sulfides. There's also, to a lesser degree, hydrogen sulfide gas and methanethiol. Methanethiol? Sure. I know these things. But so to your point,
that sensation you get right before it comes out.
So they actually did a nurse was concerned whether or not her farts would or her flatulence, let's say, would be a problem in the operating room when contaminating. She was worried that it would contaminate the environment.
You know what? That is a very astute thought.
It's fascinating.
That is a very
astute
thought.
I mean, what else is, you can put on all of the different gloves.
It's a very astute thought.
Yeah. A toot. So they actually did a study. It prompted a study, and they did 2 petri dishes. One. This is serious stuff, Chris. Come on. So it's.
I don't think we ever outgrow our little boy.
No,
brain,
never at all. That's why I never went into the sciences. This is actually from the British Medical Journal. They put them 5 centimeters or 2 inches away from the butt source, and here's the thing: there was a control group, one with the pants on and one with the pants off. Amazing. Overnight they left the
one dampened and one undampened.
Exactly. One with a silencer and one Levi's silencer. So the petri dishes were left out overnight, and the next day, the one with the unclothed fart, as it were, grew bacteria that was found only in intestines and the skin. So we joke about it, but it actually does retain most, if not all, bacterias in the pants or whatever you're wearing, underwear, anything like that. So what you're mainly smelling is the those gases we talked about. So there is some.
So wear underwear. Please, for God's sake.
Please do not go around farting nude. So how else are we gonna fake being professional about this subject?
Well, I thought that I would I'd do some research on the psychology behind this, like just why are farts funny? Because I don't know why, or at least I didn't until I looked it up. And honestly, like still even looking it up, there's not a whole lot of research done, as you might imagine, on farts. Like
what?
Not a whole lot of grants out there for fart research.
Damn.
I guess they want to research cancer or something.
Well, I mean, there's fart cancer. There's got to be. They'll get to that.
Sure. There is colon cancer.
Yes.
So why farts are funny? I saw a lot of kind of speculation. The only thing that I thought that was kind of close to maybe a scientific approach was a article on Quora that I read by Will Wister, and he basically outlined that flatulence are probably funny because they fall under the incongruity theory, which basically says that things that are incongruent with expectations can evoke laughter. So it breaks the usual pattern from speech that we're used to hearing or music. Sure. It's very short. It's different. We don't know what to expect when a fart's coming out. You don't know what pitch it's going to have. So I don't know. It's kind of a surprise every time that you let one fly. I mean, not only in sound, but also in smell.
It can also be a surprise to oneself. You know, sure. I think if a fart comes along and it doesn't, you think you're keeping it on, and then you say you laugh or something like that, then that's going to be an unexpected thing for you as well.
Dude, totally. Yeah. So I would say that maybe even the more unexpected, the funnier. Mm-hmm. Like if you sneeze or if like you fall and fart. So my grandma that passed away, God rest her soul. I will never forget that I had like around a corner stopped to like bend over and tie my shoe, and she had come hurrying through the hallway. And didn't see me and was like carrying something and tripped right over me and fell like pretty hard. Like I felt bad about it, but when she hit the ground, she definitely let out an old lady fart, and like it was pretty freaking funny, and I'll never forget that.
Aw, that's some good memory. That's I've heard of people. It's not me. But they will wake themselves up. I actually interviewed somebody, and they woke themselves up with farting and then realized what they had done and started laughing. So they continued to fart with the laughter. Yeah. It's a...
Wait, so the laughter woke them up or the farting woke them up?
The fart woke them up initially, and then they had more gas within them. And so they kept... laughing, and whenever they would laugh, it would shake their body in a way that would release more gas.
Yeah, I've had two experiences with waking up to farts.
Excellent.
One was just with actually both times have been with a significant other. One being that I suppose it's alleged that I was farting so much that they got up to open and close the door really quickly to use it as some kind of giant room fan to kind of move the smell around because it was so bad. The other time was I woke up swearing that I heard like a very distinct sound, and I woke up my significant other, and I was like, hey, did you just hear like wood hitting the ground? It was like a doop doop doop. And they laughed themselves back to sleep because apparently it was just like a loud wood dropping like sound when they farted.
Was that a wolf? No, wait, that was just me. That was my butt.
If you've ever farted somebody else awake, I mean that's fairly impressive.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I possibly have in my life. Sure. Yeah. Oh, everyone has been too polite to tell me, I think. So except for a few long-term relationships that I've had, but or if I'm if we're at a at a bachelor party or something and I've passed out on the couch and somebody says, "Whoa, dude, oof, all night." That was just awful.
Wow, really?
I think it was yours.
Okay. Yeah, it could have been. All right, let's rein it in. I think we got a little bit out there because it's very easy.
It really is.
Talking about farts.
Sorry, everybody.
Oops. So another question we had going into kind of our revisit stage was, what happens if you hold in a fart?
Right.
Another debated thing, just like if you could taste it when like someone farts and it's smelly, what happens? Because I have heard before that like, if you hold it in too long, you'll die. That could be
Well,
true.
listen, I think if you hold your farts in for too long, that means you're also holding poop in, and I do not think that is healthy at all. Very unhealthy.
Totally. Just as somebody who goes through life thinking of things in like a gamified way,
Okay.
I would have hoped that the longer that you hold in a fart, the more powerful it gets.
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
smellier.
yeah.
But it doesn't work that way.
Oh.
If you're consciously holding in a fart,
Mm-hmm.
most likely it's going to escape on its own. Whether it be when you're sleeping or when you're walking, or it just kind of slips out. It just doesn't have that like vibration sensation. However, if you have some serious blockage going on and like a fart really can't come out, that could be a potentially dangerous problem where it could inflate the colon, kind of like a balloon.
Oh my God.
And if you have any kind of like weakness in the colon, it like kind of like bubbles out like a poor spot on a tire. It could burst potentially.
Oh Jesus.
Typically, this is only with people that are like 45 or older. But
Like constipation and stuff like that, where it blocks stuff up. I mean, I get that.
Or rocks or hamsters. Yeah, just like anything that's obstructing it from actually coming out.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't. Well, people.
Also, that's me.
People sometimes. I mean, the gerbil thing. Yeah, hamsters don't do it.
Yeah.
But with the rocks,
Guinea
I
pig.
think people have heard about birds and dinosaurs doing that, where they think that that's going to help their digestion.
Gerbils?
No, with the rocks.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
You know, where sometimes certain animals need rocks in their diet to crush up the more complicated foods that they eat. Don't do that. You're a human. You got a pretty good digestive system. You do not need rocks in your diet. That's just that's a PSA from
Use the
out of
teeth
memory.
in your mouth.
Yep,
Not the teeth in your butt.
that's correct. Because that's dentata, and that's anal dentata, and we don't want that. That is stuff that nightmares are made out of.
Yeah, floss on your own time.
So that's I'm so glad we know that. Going along with just this one really fascinating story that I heard in our research. There used to be they would perform dances of flatulence.
Sorry. What?
Yeah, no. In medieval Japan, there were scrolls that described this man named Fukutomi who performed fart dances for the aristocracy. Yeah, that happened, and in Paris, there was something similar to that from Joseph Pujol, and he hosted a 90-minute show of that at Moulin Rouge. I don't know what his source of 90 minutes of farting was, but
90 minutes?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was just like part of the act. You know how
Just part of it.
Just part
I
of
bet.
it.
Just
Just like David Letterman had, the top 10 or stupid dog tricks or stupid pet tricks. Was it pet tricks? Yeah. This was just a section
Metrics.
of his long 90-minute show. He would do a rendition of Au Clair de Lune. And
No.
yes, and which is a beautiful piece of music if you've ever heard of it. But I would be fascinated to hear it done. It's a long piece of music, or at least an extended piece of music. So the guy has to have very strong sphincter control. But there's a rumor that apparently Sigmund Freud visited the show before going on to develop his theory of anal fixation, which is just fascinating. So there's yeah.
I love this picture at the Moulin Rouge of what looks like just a man with his behind to like an old timey loudspeaker. What do you even call those? Just a speak louder.
A speak louder. Yeah. They had really
Sure.
stupid names for things long ago. It's just what it did. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy is fascinating fellow. But
That history is full of fascinating garbage. Honestly, I don't know how we survived this long. I really don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, the people who were doing the important stuff were working, and then this was just entertainment for the masses. You know, there's a lot of people who aren't going to have a great effect on humans human advancement, but you know, it keeps us going. It keeps everybody laughing. That's all.
True.
You know.
True. All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a sensitive topic,
Please.
That we had talked about before before we had researched things.
Yeah.
And that's are farts only funny to men? Because it kind of seems like it sometimes. Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. It appears
like, are farts sexist?
It appears to be in a majority of male centric. Not to say that there isn't male power in everything, but it doesn't show up in Shonda Rhimes shows, really. You know, it doesn't show up in Grey's Anatomy much. I don't think it shows up in more sort of stupid, not stupid, but lower common denominator movies such as Dumb and Dumber, Fat Bastard, in Austin Powers. I mean, South Park, stuff that isn't typically women centric, but still has a lot of female fans. You know, absolutely.
I think a lot of that can be chalked up to that maybe most of the audience that's soaking up the lowbrow humor, what we consider to be lowbrow, might be children and boys and men.
Sure.
And I don't know, are we simpler than women? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a freaking psychologist.
I am not either.
Or whoever decides where the line is drawn. I don't know.
Farticologist?
Fartologist. But
yeah,
I did ask someone.
Same here.
I asked.
Yes,
did you?
I did.
Okay, I'm interested to hear your results.
Absolutely. No, you go first, sir. Please.
Oh, after
well, thank you. I was I ran into some people, some friends this weekend, and I actually asked them. I was like, listen, this is a bit of a sensitive subject. Not everybody's into it, but since I have you here, stuck in a line for a
stuck in this small room.
No, we were in a line. It was actually a very bold choice on my part, because we were in a fairly long amusement park ride line, and I asked them, but it was for Despicable Me ride. So if you're gonna ask anyone there, you know, there's a lot of fart humor in that. There's a fart gun in the movie, for God's sake. So I asked, do you girls find farts funny? And they absolutely could not stop laughing.
Wow. Just by the question?
Wow. And they were like, oh my God, yes, I absolutely love it. And they were, funny enough, one of them was introduced to it by a significant other of theirs. They were on, apparently they had laptops next to each other, and one was typing to the other on AOL Instant Messenger way back in the day, and one said, knock, knock. And the girl said, who's there? And the guy said, didn't say anything, and he just leaned over and farted on the bed. And she found out. She was like, I could not stop laughing. Two of the girls laughed a lot. The other girl seemed a bit more hesitant to say whether or not she was, which is, I think, a very common thing in females. Some people find it improper, I suppose, to talk about it, and it's unladylike or something like that. But these girls that I talked to, they absolutely found it fascinating and funny, and really appreciated it. So that's my experience.
That is fascinating and really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, so I've, from my survey, have had a very wide range of results. So I first started with my daughter and asked her if she thought farts were funny, and she instantly responded, "Yep,
of
Daddy,
course
they are." I talked to a couple of coworkers, and one of them in particular I found very fascinating because she said nope, she has never found farts to be funny. In fact, she has felt socially pressured to laugh at farts.
Oh my.
Yeah, I was like, God, that is wow. I had never realized that. The times that we live in.
Socially pressured. So
Yeah,
no,
like I guess
huh.
like I don't know if it was like a movie or like I guess like a group of people and somebody like let one fly and everyone was laughing and she was like ha ha ha. I don't know. I don't know how that went down, but
Oh man. Everybody has a different sense of humor.
sure,
I
sure.
feel,
But I've asked a couple of other girls and they have said like sure they're funny. They didn't seem very enthusiastic. Like I don't know. If you asked me, I'd be like yeah totally. Parts are absolutely they're funny.
Absolutely.
But like even my girlfriend,
Girlfriend,
her and
yeah.
her sister growing up, and like still to this day, like if there is any like awkward pause, like if we're playing a game or something, they'll make a fart noise like just with their mouth. They're like, yeah, just like oh, had nothing to say but fart. I don't know. It's some people find it funny. I don't know.
I will say that Girl on Couch seems to be more understanding of social humor and social interactions and what gets a laugh. So I applaud her for being open to that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
She's doing a silent clap. Thank you.
So-
She took a bow.
So- and then a silent.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, like, if I am to my very small survey,
Indeed.
hold that in any regard, I would say that maybe less girls find farts funny than
Yeah.
men. So I don't know. I almost just from my own research chalk that up to men maybe being a little bit more immature than girls.
Sure.
But fascinating enough, a study that was done, girls fart more than men do.
Interesting.
The magic number is in between like 12 and 20 farts per day per person.
Oh,
However, women are kind of in the upper end of that.
But I will say one of the greatest female fart humor instances was in Bridesmaids. Have you ever seen Bridesmaids?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
That was more like
I mean, it was scatological
It was
humor.
pooping, wasn't it?
Absolutely, but there was the lead up to where everyone was sort of. It's like in Van Wilder where the guy is taking the test and it's like bubbling up in his stomach,
Yeah.
and he starts sort of tooting out a little bit, and they start doing that. But yeah, I will agree with you. It goes far beyond flatulence in that case.
Sure.
What are some of your favorite moments in fart history?
I mean, I think that the most famous scene, at least for me and in my family, is the Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy, the dinner scene where they're all gathered around the table and they're all just farting all over the place. Or maybe it's just one guy's farting.
No,
I guess I don't know.
I think all of them end up farting at one point or another.
Sure, why not? Fuck it,
Absolutely. Then there's, of course, there's a couple of Austin Power moments where they use fart humor. There's the girl says, "How dare you pass wind before me? I didn't know it was your turn, baby."
That definitely sounds like some early '90s
Yeah.
movie humor for
Classic.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike Myers. You say similarly to the test scene in Van Wilder's American Pie when he gets the laxatives and he has to run to use the girls' bathroom.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and again, it's all like farts that are the funny part. Like maybe we don't care that he's taking a dump, but like the fart part is what kind of invokes the humor.
The noise.
I think
the
yeah.
noise. Like if
Yeah.
it was just splashing, it wouldn't make any difference.
Sure.
I don't think. There's a fascinating movie. I don't know if you've ever seen Swiss Army Man.
No.
Have you?
No.
It's directed by the Daniels. They're two guys named Daniel. It's their thing, man. Dan Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. and
I was hoping their last name was Daniel also.
the Dans.
Daniel and Luigi Daniel.
But it's with Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe, and not to give any spoilers, but Paul Dano is trapped on an island, and he is almost giving up hope. It's a bit like Castaway, but he finds Daniel Radcliffe as a dead body on the beach, and he starts dragging him around for some reason, and then he sort of comes to life, maybe in his mind, maybe not. And the reason why he's called Swiss Army Man is that he can do many different things with his body. Like he can raise his arm and then it chops wood and different things like that. But one of the many skills that Daniel Radcliffe as a dead person has is that he can fart quite a bit. In fact, at one point they use him to sort of ride across the sea using his farts as momentum.
Wow.
And there was a huge, I mean, it's a beautiful movie, actually. I know from that description, it sounds very childlike and stuff, but or immature, but
yeah, it does.
And many different people at the Sundance premiere of it walked out. So I completely, they were not fans of the Dan's senses of humor. But it's fairly popular now. It's got a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. I would suggest seeing it, but it's one of those very odd situations where they put fart humor into such an existential movie, and it wasn't just like Step Brothers or Van Wilder or American Pie or South Park for that matter. You know,
so there was some contrast there.
Very much so.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I had looked for like famous fart tracks, like kind of like how there's famous scream tracks, like the Wilhelm scream.
The Wilhelm scream, absolutely. Yeah, you hear that in everything.
So there's not a whole lot of data, as you might imagine, on farts as opposed to like famous screams in movies.
Sure.
So I kind of did some self research and assessment of like just sound clips that are out there, trying to find ones that I think that I've heard before. So
okay,
you know, I'm pretty sure that I've heard these ones quite a bit. So this is called fart number 5.
That's like the beginning of a nervous fart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of thrown in the background, I want to say. Then there's fart number 9.
Oh. That's a messy one.
Yeah, sure. I feel like that's something a little bit more intentional. And then I've heard this one quite a bit.
Okay.
Which, if I will say that's kind of the Wilhelm scream of the farts.
I've definitely heard that a couple of times on South Park.
Yeah, for sure. It's forced. It's wet. It's a good time for everybody.
Yeah, it's cartoony.
Yeah,
those are all significant in the history of media farts. I would say.
It's. I think it's moved us along as a species for quite a while, having those farts handy. Do you know that the world's oldest joke ever recorded is from the 1900 BC era, and it's about a fart?
What?
Yeah.
Oldest joke. Please regale us with the classic humor.
So, according to Reuters, which may or may not be a news outlet that you've heard of, is obviously a very, very old joke because honestly, it doesn't make that much sense to me.
Okay,
but it translates loosely to like something which never occurred since time immemorable. A young woman did not fart in her husband's lap.
That's funny as how not funny that is. That's hilarious.
Right. I don't know. Our oldest like written history of humor is about farts. So like this is significant.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
I mean, yeah. I get it. I do get the joke.
That reminds me of a more contemporary joke of like, why don't girls fart? Mm-hmm. Because they don't have assholes until they're married.
Oh, very nice.
Ooh,
very
burn.
Nice.
Man, burn. So potentially farts are are harmful to our entire world.
Yeah, I think they would be. And I think there's a culprit out there. Would you like to name that culprit?
So, apart from cars contributing to global warming, which is absolutely a faked thing,
The
not real
movie?
science,
Cars?
no,
Didn't
Like,
seem that bad.
emissions, cows. Cows farting is one of the leading contributors to greenhouse gases and slowly killing us.
Idiots.
So, for all the listeners that are cows, can you stop? Jesus
Jeez.
Christ.
No, I've actually heard some dairy farms and places where cows are gathered in large groups. It's called tenting, and it's what it is they are thinking about where they store the cows, which is
I tent every morning.
No, I do too. They put a massive tent over the place where the cows are kept, and the farts go up into the tent and are turned into some sort of usable methane gas for power. And
I'm okay with that.
I'm absolutely. It's what else is the fart doing? No, that's the only use for it. I mean, as long as they don't go to the point of like putting some sort of weird pants on cows so it can just get sucked out that way too. I mean, the cows are already milked
Sophisticated.
in such a gross
I
way,
know.
you know, that I think they should just be able to fart wherever they want. You know, and we'll deal with it. We'll figure it out.
I kind of like giving cows the dignity of pants, though.
That is true.
Maybe some cool hats also.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe a vest made out of leather.
If you're going to be milked and you know that your end game is that you're just going to be killed for your meat,
right?
You might as well just teach the cow to smoke at that point. Just whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Like no heroin though. No heroin. I think that shortens their that decreases their source of life. You know.
Well, we got to draw the line somewhere.
Level of life. Yep.
Yeah. Do you have anything left in you about farts you want to get out?
Oh, I've been drained. I think the scientific study of this area of medicine is actually called flatology.
Dude, amazing.
So
see.
Yeah.
If there was more information available to us when we were younger, I might have become a flatologist.
Yeah. But if you had,
I would have been the most rounded flatologist that there was out there.
Well, you want to keep fit.
Sure.
You don't want to. You don't want to be round as a flatologist. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is feeling like the end of an episode.
It really is. Let's wrap this up. What do you give? In scoring, how do we score fart?
Yeah,
this subject in general.
I'm gonna give farting just how funny I thought it was and how funny I think it is now. Okay. I'm gonna give this 8.5 whiffs.
Okay.
Sorry. I mean, this is obviously a male-centric show.
Sure.
I'm a male. You're a male.
I am that.
Mailman deliver mail.
I mean, the girl on the couch is...
she's shaking her head hard. Jesus.
Yeah. No, she's not a male.
Okay. All right, fine. Yeah. Yes. 8.5. 8.5. Honestly, cool. Like, not I would say 10, just as funny as back in the day. Like when I was tiny boy, super immature. I'm now a grown man, super immature. And still fairly funny. It well timed and well used, funny.
Very much so.
And I think you and I were talking about like Rick and Morty. They have found a way to kind of use it in good ways, either throwing it in the background or using it in a very obviously immature way.
Yeah, in making fun of it being made fun of.
Sure.
In a way. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. For me, always it's always gonna get a giggle out of me. Maybe it's that I don't seek it out so much. I'm gonna give this 7.5 air biscuits. I'm not nearly as passionate about you as you are, but
I'm passionate about you.
Buddy. No, I'm air 7.5 air biscuits. I think which actually on average it makes about 8 sharts.
Join us next time on Out of Memory for Do You Want to Be One of the Spice Girls? Do you want to be Zigga Zigga?
Zigga Zigga. Frosted Tips. Will they last?
Or maybe Who Won the War on Drugs?
And also, parents, still the smartest grown-ups you know?
Totally grown up. Totally. All right.
Well, follow us on the social medias. We are at Out of Memory Pod on Instagram, Twitter. You can email us. Email us really if you are a female out there and you love farts, or if you're a male and you love farts. Or just appreciate them. Please email your comments
your
and anything like that.
We'd love to hear your farts, and maybe some
digitize
some
those farts.
Yes, send them on in. Mail it. I tried to do that one time. I tried to mail a fart to a friend.
How'd that work?
Well, I tested it first. I farted into like a Ziploc bag and sealed it up, and I gave it 3 days, which I estimated to be the transit time, and. No, the bag was deflated by the time I got around to it. So,
oh man,
yeah,
I am.
I just showed up at his house and farted in his hand.
Nice. I'm pretty sure you are an unofficial fletologist.
Thank you.
I'm pretty impressed.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, everybody, join us next time on Out of Memory for another insane look into our pasts.
Please do something better with your lives. You just heard 90 minutes of fart talk. Good night. Good morning.
Good night. On Out of Memory, we talk about our memories of anything from the past that we enjoyed or changed us in any way, shape, or form, and we go back to them today to see if they are worth keeping in our butts. Damn you. Shut up. Are we keeping this?